Okay, having a wee look at this one here, section test. So write the vector 5i minus 3j. I always write them in columns, so 5 and minus 3. So 5 across and 3 down. So find your principal angle using inverse tan opposite over adjacent. I can see from my wee picture that it's going to be a minus 31. Or go the whole way around. So 360 minus 31 is a bit better. Try to give us a positive answer. But the minus 31 should be fine. And then just using your Pythagoras to get the r. Remember, r theta. That's one that's strange looking, isn't it? Number 2, they're giving you in terms of r theta. So r is 8, theta is 2. If you want to see that as a wee picture, that's your 8. So your theta is 200, my goodness. It's not going to look like that at all. It's going to look something like that. It's 200, so that's 20 degrees. And that's your 8. So that's my vector there. So work out your x. So r cos gives you minus. Work out your y. So it's r sine. And you can see the way I am, going, if you imagine there's axes here. So I'm minus 7 and I'm minus 2.7 going down. So that's my I. Write it as that, or you can write it in IJ. Doesn't matter. Either is fine. Either of those will stand for component form. Question 3. First thing I'm doing is writing it as components, or a position vectors, O to A. I'm taking those coordinates out. So you could write it like that, or you could write it in the more normal. O to B, or write it like that. A to B, go through O. So it's AO, add OB. AO, do it the other way around. So it becomes positive, that becomes negative, and then just add them. Number 4. Right, what I am doing in number 4. Do you see if you start here? Okay, this is what I talked about, this nose to tail. I sort of skimmed over it. To get to, start at the tail and to go to the nose, I go across 2 and up 3. So it's 2i, add 3j. And if you look at the v, I go back 1 plus 3. So you could keep it like that, or you could write it in your columns. And then you're wanting u minus v, just subtract the 2. So 2 minus 1 is 3i, or 3. And 3 minus 3. Either or, write it whatever way you want. Number 5 isn't too bad. A take away b, times that by 2, times your c by 3, and just add them. Okay, unit vector. So I need the vector divided by its length. So we've got to find the length of it. Just use Pythagoras. 3 squared add 4 squared, square rooted. And that's you there. It's a fifth. Or you can write it as minus 3 over 5i plus 4 over 5j. Number 7, what have I got on here? They are parallel. Okay, it's a bit of a strange one. If you look there, if they're parallel, they're going to be the same factor of each other. So what I mean, if I times this one by 5, I've got to times this one by 5. So k is minus 15. Let me do a wee bit more work on that one. You've got this vector. And if you times that vector by 15, so let's see a picture of it. So I go across 1 and down 3. So that's my initial vector. This is just saying do it 5 times. And that's just saying go across 5, down 15. That's the same. See, but they're all parallel, all point in the same direction. If you're not following that one, don't worry too much about that one. Question 8. What we're doing here is we are looking at the top line. 2p plus 3 equals q. Look at the bottom line. Minus p, add 4 equals 1. You can get a p out the bottom line, and then you can put it in to get a q out the top line. Question 9. 2 forces F1 and F2, the resultant. That means if you add them together. Right, okay, ready to go. So there's your first one, I'll do it as a column. There's your second one, equals that. So 3 add A equals 7. 2 add B equals minus 3. And just work out your A and your B. Question 10, last one. W, X, Y, Z. W to X is A. That means that one's going to be A as well. X to Y is B, so that one there is going to be a B as well. The point P is 2/3. Thirds the way along the diagonal. Find Y to P. Okay. Right, where will we go for this? Y to P. I could go y to x and then x to P. Or I could go yz, zp, it doesn't matter. I'll go yx. So yx is minus b. I now am going to go 2/3 of the along the way of xz. So I need xz. So how can I get my x to z? I can go y. I'm trying to get x to z. So minus a add b, just going backwards and down. So minus a add b. I want 2/3 of that, so it's 2/3 b minus a. And just plugging your xp in there and tidying it up.